Hey, you guys, Democrats be panicking over here over Tulsi Gabbard showing up in Fulton County. I wonder why she's there. Let's talk about it today on the Angela Box Show.
Hello, my name is Angela Box. Show your fucking money.
Okay, you guys, Tulsi Gabbard, you magnificent bastard. She is in full beast mode, y'all. And y'all, you have to remember who Tulsi Gabbard was, okay? Before she became the turncoat that the Democrats hate so much. She was like a Democrat in good standing for her entire life. She was a Democratic congresswoman from Hawaii. But something happened during the 2016 election, and she was none too pleased with what her party was doing to basically throw the election to Satan's muse Hillary Clinton. And she started to open her eyes to the Democrat Party and to just how demonic and dark-sided and evil and criminal they all were. And not only did she leave the Democrat Party, she joined Orange Man Bad. Okay, she joined Orange Man Bad administration, not just in a low-level capacity, as the DNI, the Director of National Intelligence, because guess what? She started figuring out what was really going on. And yes, Clarice, or what? Who's the yes, there is a Santa Claus. Yes, Virginia, there is a deep state. Okay, so she is. There's nothing better than a convert, ladies and gentlemen. It's not, someone who's been a Republican their whole life. They do not have the zeal of the convert. They do not have the zeal of someone who was completely on the other side and was completely brainwashed for most of their life. And then finally the scales have been removed and they realize they've been living in the matrix and now it's game on. And that's what Tulsi Gabbard is, okay? So Tulsi Gabbard, late last year, came out and said that, 100% the Obama administration created the Russia collusion hoax. And it was all of them. And it was Hillary Clinton. Like, we know that, right? But she came out last week and said something even more, okay? She said not only was it the administration, it wasn't just Comey and Clapper and Brady. No, it was Barack Obama, the first black president. He created it. He orchestrated it. He did the coup. Okay. And that's kind of gone without comment because, of course, the media was in on all of it. And it's like, you guys, do you not remember that 2.5 years? That 2.5 years, that night after night, second by second, we were all gaslit into thinking that Trump was a Russian agent because there was no way possible that Satan's muse, Queen Cankles herself, Hillary Clinton, lost the 2016 election. It had to be chicanery. It had to be nefarious. And of course, Vladimir Putin was in on all of it. And Trump, of course, was like, this is complete ridiculousness. And of course not. But night after night, dirtbags like Adam Schiff went over there, and James Comey went on TV and he was like, yeah, from what I've seen, Trump's a Russian agent. He worked with Putin, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, it was all bullshit. And the media's not talking about DNI Gabbard saying, yeah, Obama did this thing because they were in on it too. So she did that last week. But then she did this, ladies and gentlemen. Tulsi Gabbard showed up in Georgia. Why was Tulsi Gabbard in Georgia? Why? Because Fulton County, the FBI decided that they were going to raid Fulton County election offices this week. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, let the 2020 election fraud games begin. Because the FBI was in there, because everyone remembers ground zero of the election fraud caught on video. One Ruby Freeman and her daughter and some other election worker who were awarded $148 million in damages because they sued Rudy Giuliani for defamation, even though Rudy Giuliani was factually pointing out what was right in front of all of our eyes, which was these ladies pulling out suitcases of ballots at 1 o'clock at night and running them through the machines. 98% of them came out for Joe Biden. So DNI Gabbard is there to look in on all that. Well, the Democrats are none too excited about this, obviously, because they don't want the SAVE Act. They don't want photo ID. They don't want you to have to prove you're a citizen to vote. They're real pissed off about the Supreme Court decision that says mail-in ballots have to be postmarked the day of the election to count. We're not letting 2 weeks go by until you figure out how many you need to cheat and win the election and then count those. No, that's over. So they're in panic mode. And let's discuss someone who, or how you know they're in panic mode, because they're not even like, you know, if they were smart, they would be like, DNI Gabbard is overstepping her bounds and she's supposed to only be dealing with foreign adversaries. And it's like, are you guys that retarded? Like, do you not understand who we captured like a month ago? Did y'all forget about that? We captured Nicolas Maduro, the former president of Venezuela.
FBI, open up!
Please. Yes, please. Yes. Sweet pass.
A country who has been known to use the Voldemort machines and the Voldemort software and perhaps know a thing or two about stealing elections. And obviously, there's some foreign interference here, and that's what DNI Gabbard is finding out. So she shows up there, and the Democrats are they are beside themselves. They have not been this upset since yesterday, okay? So Dan Goldman put out a tweet, and this is from Eric Doherty. Dan Goldman, I believe, was on one of the impeachment committees. He may have been on the January 6th committee. What do I know? He was on one of them, okay? So he's a dirtbag, and he basically said that, or he just filed to ban the Trump administration and the DOJ from investigating voter fraud nationwide, including election records, ballot boxes, and voting machines. What? What? You don't believe? And I mean, this was the most transparent election ever. I thought everyone said the 2020 election was. And I thought the big lie was to say it wasn't. Like, what do you care if Orange Man Bad and his band of delusional MAGA freaks are going to go in and like prove prove all those MAGA people wrong? You should be welcoming that. Okay, you should be welcoming audits of the 2020 election. You should be welcoming getting rid of dead people off of voter rolls. You should be welcoming demanding proof of citizenship to vote. You should be demanding and welcoming photo ID in order to vote. But you don't, because you're admitting that you cheat. Now, continuing, there are some ladies and some election workers who are very, very upset. And I haven't seen this clip yet. I'm just going to go out on a limb. I just saw the blurb of it. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Trump administration is being racist by looking into their job performance. Roll that clip.
Fulton County is right now the target, the only county right now fighting over an election that already happened. But it is coming to a place near you. This is the beginning of the chaos of 2026 that is about to ensue.
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you, Orange Man? Look into the clean and pure as the wind driven snow Fulton County Election Board. How dare you? Let's also not forget all the other things look, we were all there on November 3rd, 2020. We all saw it. When they started shutting down the swing states, everybody was like, they're going to steal it. Here we go. And of course, that's what they did. With the insurrection of January 6th, which is to, finish the overthrow of the United States government. But never forget something they did in Wisconsin. I actually had not heard of this clip. There was an election worker who basically got fired because, she found some blank ballots, okay? She found some blank ballots and she distributed 65,000 of them to a bunch of her election workers on different floors. And, she just told them to fill in Biden on the ballots. That's all. Roll the clip.
Last week, Milwaukee election director Claire Woodall-Vogg was fired. The Democrat mayor of Milwaukee did not give a reason for firing Claire Woodall-Vogg. If you remember, This was the same city where 140,000 ballots for Joe Biden were found and counted in the middle of the night. New revelations came from this tweet, which reads, "I took her sworn deposition in a lawsuit I filed against her as Milwaukee City Election Clerk. She printed 64,000 ballots in the back conference room of City Hall, room 501, for the November 3rd, 2020 election. She had city employees and others fill some of those out on the 4th, 6th, and other floors of City Hall." It sounds like this woman is admitting under oath that there was cheating during the 2020 election. They're filling out 64,000 extra ballots for Joe Biden. Remember that Trump lost by only 20,682 votes. Just like in Georgia, this is an admission from both sides that there was cheating in the 2020 election. Now, I know that some of you are going to be worried about the next election. How are we going to prevent the Democrats from going into the back room and filling out 64,000 extra ballots for Joe Biden? There is a big difference with this next election. If you remember, the Republicans did file many lawsuits in 2020 challenging the election results. Most of these lawsuits were thrown out based on a legal concept called latches.
So y'all, this liberal white woman was not run up on a rail. She was not arrested. She was fired. I dare say she might be arrested soon. Here's the point, you guys. Whether it's Ruby Freeman and her piece of shit daughter and that piece of shit election worker who sued Rudy Giuliani for $148 million. And then the New York bar disbarred him, I believe. Because why? Because he saw with his own eyes and he heard with his own ears what the hell was happening. Okay? He saw Ruby Freeman and her daughter and some other dude after they tell everyone to leave the State Farm Arena because you guys, oh my God, there was a huge, huge water main leak. Oh, just kidding. It was a toilet. But everyone needs to go home. But we're going to stay. And at 1 a.m, we're going to pull out suitcases from under these tables that just magically happen to be there. And even though we told everyone to go home and that the counting would stop, we're just going to keep counting. You know, because we're black. We're black people. And you can't question that because we're black. Anyway, Ruby Freeman and her piece of shit daughter and the other dude put the ballots through 3 and 4 times that we all saw. And then the weirdest thing, 98% of them went to Joe Biden. It was so weird. And so here's Brad Raffensperger showing that ass the night after the election because he goes on MSNBC or one of them, CNN something, and he basically was like, you guys, I hate to break it to you, but like, there's only 2% out, okay? There's only 2% of the vote out. And even if Joe Biden got 100% of the vote, he can't win. But yet he did. It was a Christmas miracle. Roll that clip.
Mr. Secretary, good morning on a busy morning. I guess the big question is, Hoda?
Yeah, we want to know, when are we going to get your votes? When are we going to find out who's won your state?
Well, we have about 2% left to go. We had great success yesterday. We had 4.7 million voters that voted. Record breaker for us, beats the 4.1 in 2016. We have about 2% left to go. And you can see where we are right now with the results that have been reported. I don't think it'll change any of the outcomes.
Now, I don't know if to this day if Kemp and Raffensperger were threatened. I think that there is a story of Brian Kemp's daughter's boyfriend. Mysteriously, his car exploded, and a lot of people saw that as a signal to Brian Kemp, like, you better play ball. I don't know. But Brian Kemp and Brad Raffensperger, if they want to save their skins, need to start talking. They need to start talking and telling what they knew, okay? Because this is going to be put together whether they like it or not. And I dare say that charges of treason are going to be brought up against Obama and Clinton and Clapper and Brennan. And I mean, God, the list, including members of the media. And I hope and pray that what the DOJ is doing is getting their case together to send it to a military tribunal. Because this was a coup on the United States of America. It was sedition against the United States of America. And these people need to be held accountable, and they're not going to be held accountable with a DC leftist jury and a DC leftist judge like Judge Boasberg. It ain't going to happen. So what I'm hoping is going on is they're collecting evidence. They're going to make their case airtight, and they're going to present it to the JAG or whatever the military tribunal is. All these people need to be strung up, okay? They committed treason against the United States. They had a coup on a sitting president, and now it's all coming out. So DNI Gabbard, Godspeed, my friend. You are doing the Lord's work, and naturally, the Democrats hate it all. All right, that's where I'm going to leave today's video. Please let me know what you think down below. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. And I'll see you in the next video. Remember to keep kicking ass and taking names, and to always let thy will be done. Peace.